2 hours away from tip-off. Big crowd here for this Carolina-Duke rivalry as we're underway on a Friday evening. And it's Carolina on the board right away.
Just like you drew it up, Kyle. You want to get the middles going. That means you have to pass well. And that was a goal coming into this match. Coach Shaw talked about, can we handle the serve of Duke?
Alexis Engelbrecht, the grad transfer out of Iowa State, was the one who got that first kill. She's actually from Durham, so didn't play her college days here, but she knows all about this rivalry as Schaffmaster has the service error, and Duke will have the first serve for themselves. Serving was a huge part of the match on Wednesday, and all season long for Carolina, that has been what has dictated the game as Thorpe hammers one.
Well, you're already seeing multiple players getting involved for the Tar Heels, which has been their recipe for success so far this season, and it continues tonight.
Thorpe led Carolina offensively on that Wednesday night sweep over in Durham, had 11 kills and a .500 hitting percentage for the Heels. Good serve from May. The swing is off the blockers, and it's going to be a point as Carrie Keefe, the junior.
Yeah, and the scary thing about that shot, Kyle, she didn't really get a hold of it. She had a little bit of an offhand contact. It's such an interesting schedule when you look at playing your travel partner back-to-back in the same week. It's just a unique situation that some teams handled during COVID, but it gives you an opportunity to just run it back and say, this is what was successful last time, here's some adjustments we want to make it this time.
Did you ever have a situation like this during your coaching career where you so closely together played an opponent back-to-back?
Yeah, and the primary example from most teams across the country was during the COVID year, because that was just one of the ways that conferences adjusted to travel, to ensuring, health of players and those pieces. So a lot of coaches who've been in it for 4 or 5 years have probably had that experience, but it is still unique.
Here's Eisert serving for Carolina, one of 2 servers that Mike Shaw and his staff will run out there as they run the 5-2. Another kill for Keefe. She's got a couple early ones here for Duke as they stick around.
Showing a couple different tools in her toolkit. That's one of the things that Coach Nagel mentioned on the coaches call with us earlier in the week, Kyle, that they really were focused in practice on tooling the outside hand of the pin blockers for UNC. They feel like that's one area they might have an advantage.
Even though Carolina earned the sweep of Duke on Wednesday, you look at that match, in the first set, Carolina ran away with 25-16. They hit almost 500 in that first set. But the next 2 were really close, 25-21, 25-23. And in that third one, Duke had a big lead. They even were up 23-22 at one point. What little things do they need to do to get over the hump instead of getting a sweep? Maybe have that go into a 4th or 5th set.
Yeah, when you go back and you look at the film, because in live play and right after the match, there's emotion, right? Emotion's tied to the results. So you need at least half a day or a day to go back and watch the film objectively, look at the stats, and combine the 2 and say, okay, here's where we had success. Here's where we need to be better on our side of the net. And then here are some things we think we can take advantage of next time.
2 swings in a row for Elo, but it's the block for Carolina. As Amani Foster said no, not once, but twice to get the Carolina point.
Amani Foster, the eye sequencing, the dynamic footwork to get in position, great technique.
That was the one category that Duke actually got the better of Carolina on Wednesday. 5 blocks for the Blue Devils to 4 for the Heels. Back-to-back points for Carolina.
And there's an attempt there from Elo where she was going for that outside hand, but just hit it a little bit high. So you can already see the Blue Devils are trying to incorporate that in their game plan early. Go out the outside hands of the block.
Looking for that second option to go along with Keefe. Cadle's second on the team with kills. Didn't get a good swing. Schaffmaster does, though.
When you have multiple opportunities and looks in a rally, it's probably going to end with something good when number 9 touches the ball for sure.
Schaffmaster with 162 kills to lead the way on the year for the Tar Heels, now in her senior season. There's a nice slide and a point for the Blue Devils as Cadle, the senior out of Colorado, gets involved.
yeah, you'd love to see the middles for Duke just carry a little more offensive weight in this match. Can we get them involved? It starts with passing, of course. And again, we saw a great shot off the outside hand of the block. So that's one thing that Coach Shaw and his staff are going to have to start tracking, that 3 of the last 4 kills for Duke have been off the hands of the block.
And for Duke, Hadel, second on the team in kills on the season. She was held to just 4 kills in Wednesday's matchup. So Carolina very much saying, hey, we see Keith, but we're not going to let somebody else beat us.
Well,
Hampton keeps that one alive. Blocker's got a piece of it at the net. Schaffmaster with another clean swing.
and what an excellent shot from maybe Schaffmaster. First, she sells the crossbody line. Then she goes up, full angle of approach, and blasts the seam. If you're blocking maybe Schaffmaster, you have to be totally committed to taking one spot away and understand that your defense is going to defend the other alley.
Good serve from Carolina, got the Blue Devils out of system, and that swing goes long. Third attack error of this set against the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I'm sure Elo wants that swing back. She's trying to cut that line a little too finely. I think just attack the court, get in a better rhythm. Just missing there. Brianna Goss, I mean, she was freshman of the week in the ACC last week and sees the floor so well. Just wants that one back for sure.
Carolina on a bit of a run themselves. 5 in a row forces the Blue Devils to take a timeout.
This is the ACC, where greatness isn't just
in the backcourt.
That double-double for her, nothing that's unfamiliar. She's got 3 in her last 4 matches as Duke gets a much-needed kill out of that timeout.
Well, just to echo that point on Schaffmaster's defense, that's something that Coach Nagel mentioned in the call as well. She said, we want to make their outside hitters play defense except Schaffmaster. We're okay if we keep the ball away from number 9.
That's a testament to Mabry because early in her career, that's who key teams were focusing on and would go after.
For sure. And a lot of coaches will have that philosophy. We want to take you out of rhythm. Let's make you play a ton of volume. But when they're really good, sometimes that rhythm helps them more.
When they're really good, they come up in big spots and make us look good. Talking about Mabry Schaffmaster, the defensive improvement, there's a block for her.
Well, and she recognized that that was 2 off plays in a row, that they're trying to go to the pipe out of the middle back, and cheated in as a blocker, read it well, and took that seam away. Great recognition.
Second service error, though, against Schaffmaster here in this set, and that's something that Duke has got to be feeling very fortunate about because she's one of the best servers in the ACC this season.
And you can tell from Wednesday's match, they had 8 aces. They served really well, so they're coming out a little aggressive. Just got to manage the errors.
What a good set from Zoe Barrett on this one. The pass off the serve looked like it was going to get into the net. She did a great job of keeping it on Carolina's side, though.
But she has really grown into a complete setter this year, talking to the coaches, how can I get better, always in the office, watching film, and it's translating to her play on the court.
Now in her sophomore season out of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, Carolina with their 3rd service error, this one against Maddie May. And that's something that Coach Shaw and his staff, they're okay with because they predicate their offense and their defense so much off of tough serving. They're going to live with some of those errors.
Yeah, you have to be careful because you just don't want them to come in bunches. Those are 3 errors out of the last 4 serves, so I'm sure the next talking point on serving for the Tar Heels is going to be, let's keep a couple in.
Jump ball, all sorts of bodies that are there, but Thorpe is the one who's going to get the kill. After 11 on Wednesday, she's got 3 already today.
How good has Chelsea Thorpe been after transferring in from Ohio State? She has carved out a very important role here this year for the Tar Heels.
And I'll tell you, I think the biggest thing with her coming in as a transfer is you hear that word, transfer, and you immediately, at least I think, senior or grad transfer. She's just a sophomore. She's got a lot of volleyball left ahead of her.
And I'm sure that Coach Shaw and his staff are smiling ear to ear when they think about the eligibility she has remaining. She's just so physical of a player. She brings a lot offensively. She just adds an element that Carolina didn't have as much last year.
Last kill for Duke was from Keefe. She's got 3, but Carolina with an answer right away.
Wow. And this is starting to get away a little bit from Duke. you're focusing on so many things, and when a team can pass so well as Carolina has to start this match, all of their options are on the table. It really stresses the block.
I told you before, Carolina will run a 5-2 system, so they've got Barrett and Eisert as their setters, but Molly May, the libero, also somebody who can be out there and help to set some big swings. And Duke gets one on that far corner.
And those are the opportunities that Duke needs to capitalize on. If you get a free ball, if you get North Carolina out of system, can you transition and convert the next play? That's something that's got to be a focus, because that's how you chip away at this lead and you get a little momentum.
This one was as close as 6-5 Carolina. They went on a 7-1 run, forced Duke into a timeout, and UNC has maintained that lead since. Second touch for Schaffmaster. That's set out in front. Opportunity for Duke to steal one.
And already a great rally from the Blue Devils of extending the play. That's something we hadn't seen in the first 8 to 12 rallies. They were kind of boom, bang, over and quick. If Duke can extend the rally defensively, get a positive touch, dig a couple more balls, then they're going to be in a dogfight and they can stretch this lead.
Last kill from a true freshman, Taylor Williams, one of 5 that Duke has on the team. A great pancake from Keefe on the back line. Mentioned extending plays, not going to extend it there though, as Foster picks up her second kill.
Just a great shot by Foster, giving Duke a taste of their own medicine, going high hands off the block, which is a great shot for a pin hitter to have in their tool bag. Very difficult to defend.
Here's the freshman Jackie Taylor back to serve for UNC.
Set a little bit too low.
Back to Foster, blockers a little bit late and it'll fall in.
Yeah, Duke's gonna have to do a little better job of capitalizing on the opportunities that they're getting. You know, when you're passing so well, you have to get a good swing, a good contact setter-hitter connection. And when you have to tip and roll because the connection isn't there, you're just fueling the fire of UNC's transition offense.
Good serve from Taylor. Cuts the court near side. The blockers are able to get set up. Another one. This time it's kept alive. Third time. Williams not able to get the kill. Schaffmaster's turn.
Opportunity here.
Nice rally point. I think Foster got underneath the net there. Point is going to go to Duke, and that was one that they really needed. If that goes to Carolina's side, you get to 18 and the crowd starts getting into it, realizing you're close to a set win.
100%, and that's one thing that didn't happen much on Wednesday night was longer rallies. You know, it was pretty short points on Wednesday, so that had to be a talking point for Duke. If we're going to win this match, we have to be prepared for longer rallies.
There's an ace for the Blue Devils. First one of the match for either team.
And this is how you get on a mini run. You just focus on little things you can control, serving tough, playing good defense, applying some pressure back on your opponent.
Back to Engelbrecht. That was how Carolina got their first point of this set.
And I love the response from Sophie Hampton. You know, she gets aced the point before. They target her again in serve receive, and she passes nails. And now you can get your middle involved. So that's a good comeback play there from number 22.
Barrett got the hometown roll off the tape. Is that touched? It is not. Sixth attack error here of this set for the Blue Devils. Pushes the lead to 6 for the Tar Heels, biggest of the set.
And not a great contact there by Williams. I'm sure she wants that one back.
Barrett nearly got an ace. Good scramble to get it across. But it leaves some openings, and you don't want to do that for Mabry Schaffmaster.
She has such range as an attacker. Difficult to really defend because she can hit the spot you're not. And that's one thing that you have to make a read and just commit and hope that the block can channel it your way.
Carolina with 3 different players with at least 3 kills so far in this set, as Mabry Schaffmaster just picked up her third to push this to a 7-point lead. And talked about it before, she's in her senior season, and it feels like, as should be the case, she has brought it all together here for her final year.
Yeah, and when you are in a program and have consistency from year to year, you can build, you can evolve as a player, and adding different layers and different tools to your bag, and making sure that you can take that next step. And you think, oh man, you're already successful as a freshman. You were, an offensive kill leader. You were such an offensive stalwart for this team for the first 3 or 4 years. How can you grow from there? What else can you do to evolve? Well, it's the defense we talked about. It's the net presence. It's the leadership, right? It's being that mentor for the younger players, and those are all pieces that we're seeing. I love what Coach Shaw mentioned when we talked to him about maybe Schaffmaster, was that she really exudes that servant leadership. She's a very loyal person. She really wants the program to do well. She loves Carolina, and that's just permeating throughout her team, and you see her leadership on display.
One stat that wasn't on that screen there, her hitting percentage this season, because she had been used so much, it was almost a kills by quantity, not really being efficient. Over 300 this season, though.
Yeah, and that's in the same echelon as middles, right? You expect, when you see 300 hitting percentage plus, you expect that to be tied to a middle hitter because that's more common. But when an outside hitter has a hitting percentage over 300 with that kind of volume, you know that they are consistent and they're getting it done.
Duke was able to get a point out of their earlier timeout. They're going to need to string together a few here as Barrett is ready for the serve. Tar Heels looking to go to 12-1. It'd be 4-0 in the ACC. And it would also keep them perfect here at Carmichael Arena. And there's the middles. You mentioned it earlier. Duke's got to get those middles involved. It'll open up the pins.
Well, and they've passed well enough in this first set to have a little bit better offensive balance, I think. But what a great shot by Brianna Goss, against a double block, cutting it to right back, showing that she's got that versatility as an attacker.
Goss already twice named ACC Freshman of the Week. A nice rally between these two. Couldn't get the kill. Schaffmaster. Good positioning, though, from Godshaw. Book finally gets the clean kill.
Wow.
Godshaw got to that somehow. Duke, they're not going to get it over.
Oh, my. Did Godshaw put in some work in that rally or what? Number 10 for Duke. Watch number 10 in the white shirt. This is after the play. Look at the hustle and the determination on her face after digging 2 or 3 other impressive balls in that rally. You don't think she's wanting to win tonight? She is laying it on the line. And after a great hustle play like that, you really want your teammates to communicate and extend the rally and keep it going. I think it's a little deflating when you're working so hard and there's just a little lack of communication on the back end.
Godshaw out of Ellicott City, Maryland, just a true freshman. The first Coach Nagel, that's a piece that you see that hustle out there. That's somebody you definitely want to build around.
And that's something that she mentioned to us, is that the confidence of this young lady was illustrated on day one. Coming in as a freshman to preseason and training, she didn't act like a true freshman in terms of her composure, her confidence, even her leadership. She wasn't afraid to be vocal in practices, and she's really playing beyond her years right now as a true freshman.
She came over and had a conversation with the chair judge. Schaffmaster is now having a conversation with her. Being told this is something about her shoe. So something with equipment that they're needing to fix. Interesting.
Well, and so it looks like the front part of the sole. Yeah, it looks like the front part of the sole is coming off. And keen eye from the official. If the officials notice that part of your equipment is starting to fray or come loose, then that could be a hazard. And so we see a little shoe goo, possibly, maybe some other glue agent being applied here.
It's something that Duke has had around since Zion had the issue with the shoe back when he was playing.
100%.
And the shoe blew up. They don't want to have the same for their volleyball players here.
Well, and it's, you dress well, you play well, right? And you're used to your shoes. They're broke in. You don't want to break in a brand new shoe or wear a teammate shoe if you can help it. So little Little doctoring, little minor shoe surgery happening here.
Yeah, this is one of these instances where, I mean, you know, your school's 8 miles away. During the timeout in between intermissions, go grab a new pair so you shouldn't have to play with the tape for the second and third sets.
Boy, they are really putting some work in on this shoe. We'll see how long it lasts when he gets back. That's going to be the testament of the process here. But, you know, zooming back out to kind of that broad view of the match, this serves as a pseudo timeout for Duke. And, you know, it's going to be a tall mountain to climb for them to try to get back in this set. So for the next 5 or 6 points, your focus, if you're Duke, is to establish some kind of rhythm. Let's get a little bit of momentum heading into set 2. And I think it's got to start with defense. You know, right now, North Carolina is having their way offensively, hitting almost 400 as a team. And if you can slow the ball down, extend the rally, make North Carolina transition 2, 3, 4, 5 times, somewhere in there you should get a good transition swing opportunity yourself, and that'll help your offense.
All this taping of the shoe, it's giving me flashbacks to playing wiffle ball as a kid. Get the duct tape out.
I think that was a little faster.
Looks like she's getting the shoe back on. Hopefully we'll be back underway here momentarily. That crowd we spoke about, they're enjoying this. They're getting into it. They've got the wave going around here for the last minute or so.
Yeah, awesome crowd tonight here in Carmichael.
Carolina advertised this as a game that they wanted to try and break their attendance record for a volleyball match, which happened back in 2014 when, lo and behold, the Duke Blue Devils were in town. A little over 5,500 in that matchup, and that was the year, if you remember, Carolina made their best run ever, going all the way to the Elite Eight, behind Taylor Ficano, Taylor Lee, and the rest of that bunch. Looks like our shoe issue is fixed. We can get back underway here in the first set. Clean swing for Keith. Great job, though. Thorpe got a piece of it. Kept it alive. Another opportunity for Duke. They go down the middle. Timing off. Keith keeps it alive. Great defense from both sides here. Overpass is going to go out of bounds, and Duke will get the point.
And so far, we've seen both teams, when there's an extended rally, 4 or 5 or more transitions, we've seen both teams not communicate the best on the back end of those plays. Can you continue to stress the opponent? Can you get quality swings deeper into rallies?
Hampton with her first swing. She's going to be blocked.
And these are the kinds of things that Duke needs if they want to come back into this match. They need to string together a couple of points, strong defense, good offensive looks. Look at the eye sequencing from Keefe. She lined up, took the line away. Aggressive move there from number 11.
First block of the match for the Blue Devils. Engelbrecht down the middle, but Gottschall with the dig. Shaftmaster can't keep it in bounds. And Duke using that pseudo timeout as kind of a reset, like you were talking about.
Well, and I love seeing the adjustments made by Duke. They're seeing some of the same shots from UNC's hitters, and they're starting to make adjustments defensively. That's how they're extending rallies. So it's going to be up to the Tar Heels to mix up their offensive shots even more.
Hampton gets on the board.
And that's a case in point there, Kyle. That's really the first sharp cross-court shot that we've seen from the left sides.
Going into the match on Wednesday, Hampton, the sophomore, had 6 straight matches with double-digit kills. Had a solid match on Wednesday, but just 7 in that one.
I'm interested to see who May will target here with her serve.
Junior Libero gets the tape roll and the ace.
It doesn't matter who you target if you get the net kisser. Those are tough to defend and serve receive.
First ace of this set for Carolina.
And these are serves you practice in the gym, and you hope that you get these in the match.
There's the 7th ace of the year for May. Duke with an answer right back.
Yep, another tool shot off the outside hand from Keefe. There's already a collection of notes happening on the sideline for Carolina of some adjustments, and I'm sure one of them is going to be taking a little bit of a step outside, getting more outside leverage on their pin block.
4 kills for Keefe already, 444 hitting percentage. That serve, though, gives it back to the Tar Heels, and they've got themselves set point. Taylor Eisert, the grad transfer from Middle Tennessee State, into the game to serve. Short serve. Keefe blocked. It's going to go out of bounds, though.
We're seeing that theme already develop, and we're also seeing a service theme developing for UNC. How many short serves have we seen in the last 3 or 4 attempts? I think that's something Duke has to focus on in between sets as well.
Cross court for Foster. Blocker's got it, but it'll fall in. Blue Devils put up a rally at the end, but too much. Carolina, as they take the first set, 25-19 here in Chapel Hill.
3-day.
Carolina, 355 in that first set for their hit percentage, 135 for the Blue Devils. Everything else pretty close statistically. As we get underway in the second set, and Schaffmaster shows some of the volleyball smarts there, just finesses that one for a kill.
She sees the floor so well, and her disguise is top-notch. She is coming at you full speed with her step close, dynamic shoulder load. You're not sure what she's going to do, and she just goes off speed at the last second. Great disguise.
Cross-court set for Thorpe. Ingram able to keep it alive. Duke will try cross-court themselves, and they get it. Rachel Richardson, a senior out of Ellicott City, Maryland.
And I'm seeing a theme offensively for the Blue Devils at the end of set 1 and already here at the start of set 2. A lot of shots are going to the backcourt setter of Carolina, Zoe Barrett. She's been digging a lot of balls in the last 4 or 5 rallies.
She's got a team-high 5 digs so far as Duke comes up with an ace. Already have matched their total from Wednesday's night.
Yep. And that's one strategy coaches will have between sets. If you're facing a team that has dominated offensively, you know, hitting nearly 400 in the first set, one way to slow that down is make the setter dig the first ball.
Shaw to serve, another short one, this time to Hampton. Carolina will get a swing off. Schaffmaster. Penn, the grad transfer, kept that one alive. Again there for Duke. Keefe, second time works as she splits the blockers.
Well, if you're watching this match and you have not watched a lot of North Carolina or Duke volleyball in the last couple of years, you're getting a real treat to see maybe Schaffmaster and Keefe for Duke, 2 of the best pin hitters in the ACC going toe-to-toe right now.
Got the tape, but it falls out of bounds. Carolina got the hometown roll. Duke doesn't. Gets out of service there, gives it back to Carolina.
Yeah, I think there was a little remote control of the net there or something. I don't know.
Mabry averaging over 2 aces per match. Doesn't have one yet, but a big serve there. Opportunity for Hampton. Positioning from Godshaw. Point. Richardson on a set that was off the mark, still able to use those blockers.
Yeah, and we're seeing that scouting report take shape. The longer the rally goes, Duke is looking for hands, especially when they're out of system, which is a smart play until your opponent makes an adjustment. So we'll see if the Carolina blockers can make that adjustment before set 2's over.
Hampton sends that one wide. Attack error against Carolina, and Duke with a 3-point lead in the serve.
I love the recipe that's cooking right now for Duke. Let's attack at the setter. Let's go high hands. Let's be smart how we're attacking the court and kind of press Carolina into some unforced errors.
To Hampton, this time it's inbounds.
And you have that recipe, and a part of that cannot break down is your block. And when you get those opportunities, you get Carolina in a one-on-one situation, your blockers have got to step up.
Junior May with a short serve. Richardson with another kill.
What a rocket from Richardson.
She only had 1 kill in the first set. She's got 3 already for Duke here in set number 2.
And I love that shot because we've seen a lot of off speed, a lot of hand tooling from the outside hitters. And this is really one of the first ones where she just unloads. And you need to mix those in, sprinkle those in a little bit to keep the defense honest.
She goes back to serve. There's a swing for Thorpe. A couple of touches, but Duke can't keep it alive.
You look at the hitting percentage for the right sides of both teams. Keith hitting 400, Thorpe hitting 600, neither with an error. So if they're in the front row and I'm a left front blocker, I think I might try to bait them or maybe look like I'm taking cross court away and dive line, just something to mix it up because we've got to slow those guys down on both sides.
Quick over and a heads-up play for May. She gets the dig. Hampton can't get the kill. Overpass. Taylor. First point of the match for the freshman Taylor, and it's a big one.
Yeah, and what North Carolina is doing in response to Duke's early lead is they're just taking advantage and capitalizing on those opportunities that Duke has given them the last couple of points, and now they're within 1.
Setting a slide, and that one is going to be a kill. Run perfectly as Cagle gets her 3rd kill.
Off the forehead of Jackie Taylor. She looks none the worse for wear, kind of laughing that one off. But anyone who's played middle blocker will know that will happen sometimes.
You're putting yourself in harm's way.
For sure.
That serve is going to go long. That's the 5th service error against the Blue Devils.
One of the rare times we've seen Keefe in the pattern in left back. Do they serve at her?
4th service error against Duke, or excuse me, against North Carolina.
Now, both teams were flirting with double-digit service errors on Wednesday night. Carolina having 9 and Duke having 8. I'm sure both coaches would love to see their team serve just a little cleaner.
Nice set for Hampton. Great, excuse me, for Foster. Hampton was the one who kept that alive somehow. Here's an opportunity for Duke down the middle. And the bump set, Shaftmaster, 2 blockers there.
Yeah, that set was just a little too tight. There's not a lot you can do as an attacker when you're set within 5 or 6 inches of the net. You're just kind of duck and cover. You might be able to wipe that shot, but looked like Shaftmaster thought she could muscle that ball through. Good deny block by Duke.
Keith and Goss both there for the 2nd Duke block of the match. But Carolina quickly answers. Taylor starting to get involved after not having any kills in the first set.
Well, she didn't have many opportunities in the first set, so this is a great switch here in set 2 from Coach Shaw and his staff. If we can establish a little middle presence in the early and middle part of this set, that might extend the lead even more.
A little bit out of system. Keith just has to pop it over. Foster through 2 blockers.
Yeah, and Duke is obviously targeting the right back, the back row setter of Carolina a lot offensively, particularly when they're out of system. Now, that will get North Carolina out of system, but then you have to back it up with good defense. You can't let them score in that first swing.
6th kill for Foster ties her with Keith for the lead. Tar Heels looking to tie it up.
Good pass.
Middle, and that one just clips the tape on the end line.
Got a great swing by Goss, recognizing there was no libero in that rotation with Taylor serving for North Carolina. So anytime you know there's no libero in the court, a deep corner shot is a wise one.
3rd kill for Goss. She had just 4 on Wednesday, so already having a better match. Foster, 1 block there. It was the senior Richardson.
And what a block by Richardson. We just talked about that, Kyle, a few points ago. The offense on the right side, whether it's an outside hitter or an opposite, has been stellar for both teams. So which team can kind of slow down that right side look is going to have an edge here in set 2. And so far, that was a great blocking move by Duke right in front of Foster.
Back-to-back points for Duke, pushes the lead back to 3. Neighbor Shaftmaster, though, wins the run.
Great Great effort by Godshaw. Well, she is really locked in defensively, seeing the court well. But Schaffmaster just a little better there on her technique. That's the muscle through the block shot she was going for earlier. We know she's got that option in her toolkit.
Godshaw with a game-high 6 digs so far as Carolina picks up their second ace and pulls back within 1.
And if you're Duke, it's just about communication, watching the ball to your platform, take care of your contact for the next couple of points. You want to keep the lead.
13 aces for Barrett on the season after that one. Comes up to keep it alive. Here's Thorpe. Keith was there, good positioning from her. Barrett with a dig. Either team able to get a good swing off. Another one from Barrett. Schaffmaster finally ties it up for Carolina.
Well, I'm starting to see what Schaffmaster may be seeing on the court. Her last 3 aggressive swings have been low to the tape. I think if you watch the block for Duke, they tend to go high first and then press. And what you want to do is you want to press right away as soon as you get over the net. If you don't do that, then that exposes a little bit under the block where a ball can sneak through. We've seen that twice now on the last 3 swings from Schaffmaster.
Nice set right there from Duke. Got a quick middle and a kill from Goss. They retake the lead immediately.
Boy, and another shot to Barrett. It's pretty obvious at this point, the recipe, and it's bore fruit. So Duke is onto something here. But if I'm Carolina, I'm really having conversations about what we want to do when we're out of system, because it seems like there are going to be a lot of opportunities.
The block really coming to life here in this second set. That's the 3rd for Duke. 4th overall for the match. See the conversation going on over there on the Carolina sideline.
And right now, this type of play is benefiting Duke. If it's a back and forth, kind of a seesaw battle, that keeps Duke in it. What we saw in the first set was those 2 large runs from UNC, and that was the major difference. And so if Duke can keep this a side-out battle with this 2 or 3 point lead, that's exactly where they want to be.
3 in a row for the Blue Devils. Godshaw, overpass from Hampton, opportunity on the free ball. Right down the middle, not a great swing though. Timing seemed to be off. Schaffmaster just dunked that one to get the point.
Yeah, and that's just a veteran savvy play. Again, a tight set out of system. She went up with 2 hands, maybe disguised she was going to shoot to a corner and just wiped it off the block smartly. Boy, that 5th-year experience is really showing itself.
Big jump serve from Schaffmaster, and that one with the top spin falls in.
If I'm Coach Nagel, I might start thinking about a timeout. If we don't side out after this point, you've worked to have the lead for this entire set. You're down 1-0. You want to keep the momentum on your side. And we know Schaffmaster can get hot from the service line.
Godshaw able to handle that one much better. The blocker set up though. It's a Carolina point. 3 in a row for Duke, 3 in a row for Carolina. We're knotted up at 14.
Yeah, I think in this rotation, Kyle, there's just too much volume to carry Keefe, and Carolina knows it, so they're camping their block. If you watch the middle of Carolina, she kind of shades towards Keefe's side, presenting a solid double block on number 11. So can Duke get someone else going here on a one-on-one?
Overpass, Engelbrecht got it, but a great job by Keefe to keep it alive. Thorpe with an open swing. 4 straight for Carolina. They got their first lead here in the set, and it'll force us to our TV timeout. Big crowd here in Chapel Hill, and we've got a big-time matchup. Friday, 6 kills for her so far in the match.
Yeah, and you look at the variety of shot, how well she's seeing the court, taking advantage of overpasses. If she sees the ball and gets a good rhythm, she has such a great setter-hitter connection, and she can hit all the shots. She's going to make you defend all 900 square feet of the court, which really stresses the defense.
You see that hitting percentage, so doing it efficiently, not hurting her team. And looking at the stat sheet a little deeper, she's one of 3 players with 6 kills for Carolina.
Yeah, that's that balance we talked about earlier, Kyle. And when you've got 3, 4 players that are flirting with double digits and hitting very well, you know, of those 3 that are leading them in kills, the lowest hitting percentages is .330.
That last block for Carolina was their 4th. Duke has 5. That was the total for those 2 teams in a 3-set match on Wednesday. Do you see more blocks today because they're maybe a little familiar with the offensive sets and how teams are attacking each other? Or is it just, hey, it's a new game, it happens?
There's no doubt when you play a team pretty much back-to-back or within a short span, you're familiar. You've seen that attacker and you see tendencies you pick up on, you know, favored shots in certain situations. So you would expect the block to be a little bit higher tonight.
Handled the serve well, and she was rewarded.
Now, this is a dangerous spot for Duke here, as Carolina's had all the momentum in the last 4 or 5 points.
Duke runs a slide, and they have been successful all evening long when they've run that.
And I love that play call, particularly the tempo of the set. You're almost guaranteed to be one-on-one. You're going to go high hands. That's poor fruit. But to steer that ball to a deep corner is just a wise shot. And again, it's about putting stress on the defense at this point if you're Duke. And you might not score in that shot, Kyle, but can you get them scrambling? Can you get an easy reply and then get another good quality swing in transition? That's what you've got to do to get back in the driver's seat in this set.
Last kill, 4th on the night for Cadle. 4 Duke attackers with that many kills as Taylor wins the jump ball.
Yeah, unfortunate overdig right there from Duke. If you can control a shot from Thorpe in run transition offense, that's a mini win. And so just a little bit too far, giving Taylor the overpass.
This set, Duke was out in front at one point. It was 14-11. Since then, 7-2 run for Carolina as Isert serves. Swing from Keefe on the back line, and the attack error gives it to Carolina.
And I love that play design. You're running what we would call a slide go. You're splitting the block to the pins. You've already set both of those options, so the blockers on the outsides are going wide. You're one-on-one on the pipe. She just hit a little bit wide.
Biggest lead of the set for the Tar Heels. A deep swing and another long one from Duke. You start thinking timeout time if you're Joey Nagel here?
I would say so. I mean, I think we've seen enough, and Carolina has all the momentum right now. You need to take a minute. Let's settle down, refocus, and come back out of this timeout with a plan.
That's exactly what the Blue Devils will do, as Carolina has pushed the lead out to 4 here. And set number 1 as the Tar Heels look to stay perfect at home on the season. Coming into this one, 7 straight wins on the year, 7 wins here in Carmichael Arena.
Well, in front of this crowd, you know, you want to keep this crowd in it. That can help fuel you, especially in a 3rd set when fatigue might start to set in for a few players. You know, it's interesting, Kyle, because we talk about playing common opponents, you know, back-to-back or in a short turnaround, and the familiarity. Well, these programs are very familiar with each other. Even though there's a lot of new faces this year, there's still that rivalry, right? And so I think that's one of the things that both teams are focused on, is who's going to have a leg up here in set 2.
Take a look at the preseason poll, and it's fun for me to go back and look at these the longer you get into the year, because inevitably there's always a couple of surprises.
Yep.
And I would say that right now North Carolina has been that surprise so far, sitting atop the ACC standings, even though they were picked to finish 10th.
Yeah, and as you start getting into 2nd, 3rd weekend of conference play, that's when things start to really take shape. Sometimes if you're playing, you know, maybe an inferior opponent early, that might skew things, or a very tough opponent early, maybe you can't get a good read on where your team is. But from the preseason poll to how things are shaping up right now in week 2, very impressive what Carolina has done.
Duke got off to a quick start in conference play as well, with their first 2 matches being wins over Boston College and Syracuse, same as Carolina. Out of the Duke timeout, they've done a good job in the first set of coming out of the timeout and executing the game plan and getting a kill. Good serve gets them a little bit out of system, though. Overpass on the dig from Iser.
And a smart heads-up play. If you're out of system and you can't get a good swing on the ball, make the back row setter play the ball. Make that quarterback take the first shot and get that team out of system. It puts a lot less pressure on your defense.
Cato will look to put a little bit of a run together for her team to get back into this set as we dwindle down the points. But Amani Foster says, no. Kill number 7 to lead the way.
Yeah, and from our vantage point where we're sitting, Kyle, it's a little difficult for me to see why there might be that seam in the block for Duke so consistently. I think a few of the last swings from the left sides of Carolina have gone aggressively through the seam, so that tells you that the block isn't quite closing.
Here's the freshman Aaron Curtis in and serving. It's a good one. Just bumped over the free ball for the Tar Heels. Schaffmaster is blocked.
Boy, and Duke desperately needed a momentum play, and a stuff block against Schaffmaster could provide that spark to get on a mini run here, but a great read by Penn, seeing that Schaffmaster had gone low seam her last 2 or 3 shots and taken that away.
Penn got the block, now gets the ace. Duke within striking distance.
Can you string together just 2 or 3 positive plays? That's all you're after. Let's make this lead kind of diminished and shrink it into a manageable size. Can we make it 3 now?
Foster from the top of the screen. She doesn't care where you put her. She just wants to swing.
You got to put yourself in the shoes of Christina Barrow, because she saw a big hole. She crashed forward, and the ball was hit deep behind her. Difficult play to make defensively, but a great swing from Foster. 8
kills on 12 swings for Foster. She's also been involved in one of the 4 Tar Heel blocks. Over back in, and Junior will send the serve long. I feel like we saw a lot of service errors early in this set. Settled down until that one.
Yeah, I think both teams were focused on getting a little bit better rhythm, not airing themselves out. You want to be aggressive. You have some misses, but like you said, Kyle, early there were just a little too many.
Serve from Williams. Gives it right back to Carolina. And when you're trying to come back, you can't have that. That's an error that, timing-wise, is one you don't want.
Yeah, that's a difficult, fine line to navigate. You want to be aggressive all the time, keeping it in context. You know, some coaches will be okay with that miss. I would be, just because how close it was. I don't think you can nitpick on an aggressive player if they just missed something they were going for. But yeah, bad timing for sure.
Keith to the near side, off the blockers for the kill. She had a huge first set, but up until that had been unheard of here in set 2. Team high 7 kills in the match for her. Shaw with a deep serve and a good read from Maddie May.
Those are the serves that hurt a little bit more, because it's back-to-back service errors, both going long. You know, at this point in the set, you know, you definitely want to focus on keeping the ball in.
Set point for the Tar Heels. Richardson, far side, is it touched? It's not. Carolina point. Carolina will take the set.
I think we're going to have a challenge here, Kyle.
Richardson emphatic right away that was touched, and Coach Nagel going to have them take a look at it. Why not? If it's in, you get a little timeout, maybe build some momentum. If not, you get a little extra time before that 3rd set.
Yeah, why not? But the way that the Duke players responded as soon as that ball was struck, you know, pretty much every player on the Duke side turned and looked at the coach's staff and said, there was a touch, there was a touch. And when your team collectively kind of comes to you and says, hey, coach, we need to challenge that call, you need to have their back and you need to go after it. Looked like maybe a micro touch there on Engelbrecht, that inside hand, that right hand.
Thorpe and Engelbrecht were the 2 that were in the area there. This is where I always remind the viewers, call on the court was no touch.
Correct.
They've got to have indisputable evidence to overturn it. So from what we saw in those replays, is there anything indisputable? I think it is disputable, but they also have got different camera angles. So they'll continue to look at it. If we take a third look,
It's difficult to see.
to me, there's just nothing obvious that says, yeah, that's got to get overturned.
I would agree. You know, you're looking for, is there any change in spin on the ball? Obviously, do you see a finger bending, anything of that nature? And there was nothing definitive in those looks that we saw. And to your point, they may have angles where they can zoom in and things, but
The call from the referee is that it will stand. No touch at the net. Set goes to the Tar Heels, 25-21. They take the first 2 sets, and we'll look for the sweep when we come back.
100%. And I was fortunate to be on a Division I head coaches committee with Coach Segula for a short time, and his leadership was just awesome. He really cared about the growth of the sport, the health of volleyball across the country. What can we do to make the game better for the next generation?
First point of the third set, a service error, the 8th of the match against Duke. And here's Mabry Schaffmaster for Carolina. Ace.
Boy, it seems like as the match has gone on, Mabry Schaffmaster's serve has just gotten a little bit tougher every time, and you definitely don't want her to get hot behind the service line here in set 3.
That's a great point, because if you go back to set 1, you remember her first 2 times at the line, they were right into the net, a couple of errors. Since then, she has been dynamite with a couple of aces. There's Hampton, good dig from the back line. That was Barrow keeping it alive.
Great coverage by Gottschall.
Barrett with another dig. Huge swing from Thorpe.
Boy, Duke just has not had a consistent answer for Chelsea Thorpe, and the first part of what they're trying to do is working. Hit the ball to the backcourt setter, get them out of system, but then you have to back it up with defense, and Thorpe has just been too good.
It's been the combination of Thorpe and Foster for Carolina. The two have combined for 15 kills on 25 swings, just 3 errors between the two of them.
How impressive has the right side offense been?
It's Thorpe again, another kill.
Yeah, and Coach Nagel mentioned that one of the possibly Achilles heels of her team is just they're not as big or maybe as physical as some other teams in the league, and so they really have to focus on technique, getting a positive touch, and kind of deflecting balls to their defense. But when you've got Thorpe up there just swinging away, it's a difficult challenge to try to slow her down.
Hampton, Walker's got a piece of that one, allowed Barrow to get to it, but Duke just didn't seem connected on that and couldn't get it over.
And that's twice where the Blue Devils have been in kind of scramble mode during a rally where you make a great defensive effort and then there's just a small breakdown of communication on the back end. Those are areas where coaches really want to see their players polish and get better.
Carolina forces the Blue Devils into an early timeout. 5-0 Heels here in the third set. Lead them in kills in a match. Well, all 3 of those have already done it, so not going to have a 6th tonight, but just look at that spread out efficiency. You also have Taylor, Hampton, and Engelbrecht with multiple kills.
It's such a great spot to be in as a coach when you know that you've got multiple players who can rise to the occasion and point score on your team, and we're seeing that for the Tar Heels.
Duke, the immediate question is how do you slow down Mabry Schaffmaster at the service line? Not going to do it on that overpass. An opportunity here for the Blue Devils. That's going to be called a carry.
Yeah, Duke is just having to work so hard to manufacture points right now. You want to run your best play set combination, assuming you can get a decent pass, but you have to defend the serve first. And I stress the word defend because the way that Schaffmaster is attacking her serve, you're really playing defense.
That's how you're going to slow down Schaffmaster, is let her slow herself down.
We'll take it, right? If you're a Duke fan, we'll take it.
Rachel Richardson now serving.
Looking at the court for Duke, there's one change that's been made, and that's at the setter position. Nikki Quinn, redshirt freshman out of Del Mar, California, out there. First time she's been on the court. Typically, Duke going with that 5-1. They only use one setter, but trying to change something up. What do you think it is that Coach Nagel saw?
Well, I think they were shell-shocked a little bit. The way that set 3 started here, being down 0-5 really fast and in a quick manner. So, you know, one thing you can do is let's switch the quarterback and see if there's a spark.
Short serve from May is an ace.
And that's one theme that we've seen pretty consistently from Carolina from about middle of set 1 throughout is short serves, attacking the front third of the court in transition. They must have seen something from their first match or in film that they knew that was an area of the court and serve receive they could exploit for Duke.
Lauren Ingram is going to check in, the sophomore out of Dallas, Texas. Sister of former Carolina basketball player Harrison Ingram. Here's Hampton. Just clips the tee.
Well, you have to love the growth you're seeing from Sophie Hampton. You know, Coach talked about just the confidence level growing in her from last year to this year, and you're seeing it in her play. She is so aggressive in her approach to the ball, and she's got so many shots. Just impressive stuff from 22.
Duke really fighting an uphill battle now. 10-1 Carolina lead.
Carolina's got all the momentum right now, so if you're Duke, you just have to slow things down and focus on your contact, and let's get a positive play. Then let's celebrate it and see if we can get momentum from there. But credit Carolina, they have kept the pressure on here all of set 3.
Duke stays in system and gets a quick kill down the middle. The freshman connection. As Quinn gets it to Goss.
Sometimes the paintbrush kill will get you out of a lot of jams. So we got a much needed side out. We need to back it up with aggressive serving and great defense.
Backpedaling, gets a set for Thorpe. Blockers were there, but it'll fall out of bounds. And it's already a point. That's the way we saw Duke get a lot of points early in this match.
Yeah, the net presence for Duke, especially in set 2, really took it to another level. And they were denying blocks, getting a couple stuff blocks. I think they were leading the match in blocks at that point. And Carolina just coming back and staying assertive. Sometimes if you just stay assertive as a blocker smartly or as an attacker smartly, it's going to bear fruit and kind of wear down the block of your opponent.
Duke's still out in front in that block category. It's 7-4 in favor of the Blue Devils. And when you look at Carolina's season, that's not uncommon. They are outblocked by most of their opponents. But it doesn't seem to bother them sitting at 11-1.
No, you know, there's a couple sides to that coin. One, if you're leading the league, which they are, in a lot of offensive categories, right? You're #1 in assists per set. You're in top 2 in kills per set. But you're also top 2 in opponent hitting percentage. So that tells you that you don't necessarily have to block a ton of balls if you're scoring. And if you're digging well, you know, you couple in with service pressure from Shaftmaster and others. And, you know, if you're not blocking at the top of the league, right now you don't have to.
That's where my mind was the serving is probably a part of that. They're getting points off the serve that aren't necessarily blocks.
For sure.
Miscommunication there from Duke after a great effort from Godshaw. Again, sacrificing the body.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you a major talking point after this match, regardless of the score, is going to be keeping communication consistent throughout long rallies and broken plays. That's got to be a focus for Duke moving forward.
Near side set is for Williams. Opportunity for Carolina down the middle. Taylor, blocker's got a piece of it. Williams to the back line this time. Shaftmaster tried to place it. Jump ball, and it's a Duke point. Just fell in on the Carolina side.
Well, those are those.
The freshman setter winning the jump ball at the net.
Hey, we don't care where it comes from, but can somebody give us a spark? And if you're the Blue Devils, you just need someone to make a play, someone to put an overpass away, to get an aggressive serve, maybe an ace, maybe an aggressive dig, just something positive to get some momentum.
Shaftmaster was denied. Foster will not be. her 9th kill. That ties her with Thorpe for the team high.
And again, we see a transition swing kill for the right side position of Carolina. At this point in the match, you know, Duke can't focus on 57 things, right? There's a lot of wheels off the bus, but I think 2 things that they can focus on right now is, can we slow down the right side attack? And so they're not just scoring at will on that side of the net. And then one of the other things is, can we keep our communication up consistently throughout the rally? Those are 2 things Duke needs to focus on if they want to try to get back in this 3rd set.
The senior Marissa Meyerhofer in for Carolina, and she's going to get the point off of a good serve. Nine-point lead matches the highest 10-point lead as Foster hammers it home. Wow. First player with double-digit kills, and it forces Duke into another timeout.
Boy, look at that ball just drop off the table. And when you're in this situation as a passer, you have to look the ball all the way to your platform and pass and hold. You cannot take your eye off the ball for a second. You have to get a good contact. It looked like that ball just got away from Godshaw there. But great serve from Carolina, keeping the pressure on yet again.
Really exciting one here in Chapel Hill, but it's not just here that have a lot of matchups that are intriguing in the conference with so many good.
It just goes to prove that night in, night out, this is a tough league, and you've got to bring it every time you're on the court.
Duke already having used both of their timeouts. Desperately need to find a run, or a couple of them here, to get back into things in the 3rd set. Tar Heels took set 1, 25-19, set 2, 25-21.
Yeah, and if you're Duke, let's celebrate that point. We defended the serve, we got a side-out swing. We'll take the net air. Let's just focus on our side of the net and do what we can in transition. I'm going to be curious to see if Quinn starts to be a little more assertive here as a front row setter. Do we see a few more setter dumps in transition?
Coach Shaw, I saw him checking this one out. He's going to have them take a look at this. It was a violation called against Carolina, but the attacker for Duke bumped into the table. I almost wondered, did the side judge see the net move and think that it was Carolina, but it was the player? And that might be what Coach Shaw was thinking here, and that's why he's having them look at it.
Well, and this is a 2-for-1 challenge, because on the one hand, if you don't believe there's a net violation, why not challenge it? But it also, Duke is getting a little bit of momentum. There's a little crack in the door right here for Duke to maybe get back in this 3rd set. So if you're Mike Shaw, this is a very smart time and well-designed challenge. We'll see if we can get a replay look at that. But
just our 2nd replay so far in this match. The other one was a challenge from Duke, ended up being upheld and gave Carolina the set 1 win.
Yeah, in live play, Kyle, I thought that the net moved and it looked like it was the block. We'll probably get a better look at it here.
There's where the net moved. See, Richardson's hand came in, and I think that's what made the net move there. I didn't see Engelbrecht or Foster make contact, at least not from that angle.
I didn't see Engelbrecht at all. Foster, her right arm was obstructed from view of the official. Get a better look at it here, I think. Yeah, there's nothing definitive there. I think you're right, Kyle. I think it was her contacting the official stand that made the net move, not the block of Carolina.
They're going to overturn it. It's going to go to the UNC Tar Heels instead of Duke.
Boy, smart challenge by Coach Shaw there. And
I think that was also one where his players were like, hey, we didn't touch the net, Coach. I don't know where the violation was.
Sure.
Coach Nagel wanting an explanation. Clearly not going to be happy with a point being taken away from her team, especially with where this set is at.
Well, you're looking for any kind of momentum you can get right now if you're Duke, and to have that go back the other way, you know, it's a little deflating. This is really going to test your mettle here and your competitive spirit. Can we still show some fight and grit? Being down 0-2, being down 11 here in set 3, you know, who on your team's going to battle?
So it goes to Underwood. Swing from the back line for Keith. Great job to keep that alive by Meyerhofer. Drive to the back corner, Hampton read it. Schaffmaster gonna send it long. It's the first attack error against Carolina in this set.
Well, and you can go for the fences if you're Schaffmaster, because why not? At this point in the set, with the score what it is, being up 2-0, you can go for those kinds of shots. And if you're Duke, it's extending the rally, which they did. I love the shot selection within that rally when there was no libero in the court. You know, they're doing some good things, and then you just see kind of followed up with an error, right? Or maybe some unfortunate things happen in a rally, like a miscommunication. So that's kind of been what we've seen in the match so far.
And is that just a mental aspect of the game, being focused all the time to make sure you're not long in that situation?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's not easy to do by any means, but what you want to focus on as a player, if you're in this spot, if you're on the Duke side, is you want to try to block out everything else and just focus on your job. Just do your job well, communicate, have good posture, work hard. That's how you're going to try to get back into this set. Great pass by May.
With the kill.
Doesn't matter what side of the court she's on, Kyle. She is striking gold every swing. And so far, Duke has had no answer for 77.
Foster and Thorpe each with 10 kills, each hitting over 500 in doing so.
Wow. And we're talking about pin hitters, folks, not middles.
Master back to the service line. It's a free ball, though, for Duke. Back set, Keefe off the blockers, and she'll get the kill. Keefe had 5 kills in the first set. That is her 8th for the match. Carolina has done a good job of neutralizing her after set number 1.
Well, I also think Duke did a good job of trying to balance their offense in set 2, which did bear fruit. But yeah, this is a time in the match where if you have any hope getting back in it, you need to ride that horse. Who's your best player and get her in the best opportunity to score?
You need some mistakes like that. Bad set gives a free ball to the Blue Devils, and Keefe with back-to-back kills.
Yeah, sometimes our game is not rocket science, and if you're facing an uphill battle on the road, you know, let's get our best player in the best position to point score. I would expect a lot of volume the next 4 or 5 rallies to go to Keefe. Great serve, even better pass.
Engelbrecht down the middle, great dig though from Quinn. Hampton. Quinn again keeps it alive. Barrett on the Carolina side with the defense, and Hampton, upset with herself, hits that one into the net.
And that's the type of play that Duke has to make if they want to get a comeback here in set 3. They've got to extend rallies, attack the ball smartly. And did you see some of the plays that Carolina were making defensively when the ball was intended to go to the back row setter? You saw Thorpe, you saw a few other people step in front of that backcourt setter and take the first contact.
That last dig for Barrett, her 10th of the match, that gives her a double-double. 16 digs, 16 assists to go with 10 digs. As Engelbrecht hasn't gotten involved a lot. She was the first point of the first set. They went to her at a big point in the second one, and she gets her 3rd kill here.
Well, you have to credit the block for getting a positive touch, channeling that ball to Schaffmaster, and then Mabry making a great play in the backcourt to be fully in system in transition. Boy, that kind of transition defense to offense is what's kept Carolina at a high level all preseason.
Duke just has to pop it over. Tar Heels with a chance themselves. Back set off the mark for Thorpe, but she'll get the kill.
How good is that? You get overset a little bit. You have to kind of hop, scoot outside, change your approach angle, and you still score.
When things are going your way, they're going your way, and you do well.
Yeah, if this was the video game, you see that little fire ring, you know, she's heating up under her feet there.
Carolina gonna pick up another ace.
Oh my gosh.
6th of the match for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, I've been so impressed tonight, Kyle, with how Carolina weathered the storm in set 2 when Duke got out to that lead and they were fighting back, they were pushing back. They weathered that storm and came out on fire in set 3.
Tar Heels hitting .310 in the match. That one falls in, though, as Keefe will get her 10th kill.
Yeah, there's only one more rotation with Keefe in the front court, so, you know, if Duke is going to make a move, it has to be now.
You look at the stats for this set, and offensively, Duke is playing well. They're 6 kills on 20 swings, no errors. That's a 300 hitting percentage. Most times, you'd be all right with that, but you're giving up multiple aces and a 360 hitting percentage to the opponent. Not going to work out.
Right, that's the difference. You know, the hitting percentages are at a good level for sure, you know, but when you look at the point scoring, the kill differential, it's 11-6. And, you know, so those are 5 of these 9 points are kills that Carolina is getting that Duke is not.
That one clips the tape. Hampton thought it was going to be long. Instead, it'll be the 5th ace of the match for Duke.
And just a great serve to the deep third there, kind of fell off the table. Duke has been going after Hampton very heavily here in set 3. There's another one.
And to her, and a great job by May, but can't redirect it. Back-to-back aces for the Blue Devils.
And if it's one area so far in this match we've seen Sophie Hampton struggle a little bit in serve receive, it's that high ball that's coming at her kind of chest level. Does she take a step back and make an adjustment and keep the ball in front of her?
This time it's a short one. Schaffmaster handled it well. Fourth with a swing. Keith will get to it, and they'll get it over. Down the middle, Taylor. Really good body control for Barrett to keep that ball and her body out of the net.
100%. You know, the transition offense of Carolina has just been so impressive tonight. You talk about the ball control, winning the first contact. How many, you know, down balls, free balls, off-speed balls has Carolina handled perfectly to have all 3 options available to the setter? It's been so impressive.
That kill for Taylor gives her 5 in the match and push her hitting percentage above 500. So 3 attackers over 500 for Carolina tonight. Wow. Great job by Godshall to keep it alive. Time it was Ingram who got to it, but nobody else to help her out.
And that's been the major difference, I think, in the match tonight, Kyle, is that Duke has scrapped. They have extended rallies. They have really gotten after it defensively, but they just can't quite put the ball away to end those rallies where Carolina can.
Short serve from Iser. Cross court set to the near side. Blockers were there. It was an easy one for them to get. 5th block of the set, or excuse me, 5th block of the match. It pushes the lead back to 10 for Carolina.
Yeah, and no doubt that Williams would want that shot selection back. If you're a little bit out of system as an outside hitter and you're going to go off speed, it better score because everyone in the gym knows you're getting set.
Another good serve. Taylor is blocked though.
Good recognition by Cadle as a blocker.
Keith with the swing off the blockers and a point. Gives her 11 kills.
And now she rotates to the back court. So there's going to be an even bigger challenge, I think, for Duke is who can point score with a front row setter on your side of the court in transition.
Deep serve, May able to dead in that one. Here's Foster, top of the screen.
There's an opportunity.
Blockers are there for Carolina. 2 times in a row, Duke has tried to get it to Williams at the bottom of the screen, and the freshman has been denied.
Yeah, and you know, the slide has worked. I think when Duke has run the slide, I think it might be hitting 1,000 or close to. So, you know, that's one-on-one. At this point, it's just, can you extend the match a little bit?
Match point for Carolina.
Boy, what a great crowd here tonight in Carmichael. Treated to a great performance.
Looking for that slide. Schaffmaster is there. Schaffmaster gives Carolina the set and the match win. No, they're going to give it to Duke.
Yep, that was off the block there, Kyle. Smart shot by Cadle, and that's that slide we talked about. You know, with Keefe in the back row, I mean, if you're way out of system, maybe you set her out of the back row, but if you're in system at all, I think a setter dump or a slide is the smart play here.
Schaffmaster blocked. Quinn and Cadle there gives Duke 8 blocks for the match.
I think on a perfect pass, I try to go to Taylor in the middle because when she's had opportunity, she scored at will. Foster's a good option on the right side as well.
Near side swing, Richardson is blocked. Oliver has been so big offensively, 11 kills, but it's the block that finishes it off, and Carolina earns their second sweep of the Blue Devils.